Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and expand this to the maximum just because I need to. Disable this. Honestly, I need these swapped. Well, it'll be fine. Okay. Anyway, finishing the setup. Hey, everybody. Sorry for the late statement. Just like the title says, I just need to get some gems before the next selection pack comes out, and with that update coming out, it'll be a bunch of things. We're getting, it's like the 1-year anniversary content, which I'm wondering if they're going to do any kind of 1-year anniversary gems. Hey, you know, here's 1,000 gems because it's been 1 year, and we want you to, you know, start trying for the selection pack. Stuff like that. Then there's a unique reward, or not rewards, things that you can buy because it's the 1-year anniversary, the Dark Magician stuff. We'll see how much everything is, and if we're even going to bother with any of it, because I think the deck box is cool. I like deck boxes just because it provides some variety in looking at your deck boxes. Like, if you have only one thing in the Yu-Gi-Oh box, or the Dark Magician box, then you will always be able to see the Dark Magician box and be like, okay, that's, you know, blah 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 deck. I like those. Now, I'm not going to buy any of the structure decks just to do that. The cards might not be bad, but I don't want to be spending 800 or something per structure deck for boxes. But yeah, if I could, I would. Anyway, the selection pack that'll be coming out is Sprite, and I'm hoping it's bigger than what people are implying that it's going to be, because there's only so many cards that have been talked about, and there should be like a variety of other cards that will be available in it to help fill it out. And I really hope it's not just like quote unquote reprints. You know, retreading on cards that have already been out. People should technically already have. So we'll see about that. In general gameplay, I really like Scarfy bounce. I don't really know why I added the bounce part, but Scarfy, Scarclaw Melffy, it's a lot of fun. It's really silly. It's just like increased consistency to find the Scarclaw cards, just so that you can play, you know, the actual engine. But out of everything here, I don't know. I'm more partial to original Melffy, which original Melffy has been modified I don't know how many times. It's not really the original version. Also, I don't remember them showing the deck box, which is really weird. But okay. It's a weird, like, ride chain. But yeah. Scrum Force actually kind of coming in clutch. Because, depending on how this goes, I will have 2 or more, which means that they won't be... I have 2 more. Your opponent cannot target defensive monsters control card effects. I'm not gonna know what this deck is, so Oh, it's just gonna be runic. Okay, cool. Well, this is gonna be, not fun. How am I gonna out this? Because I can easily counter the entire deck. But I don't know what I can do. Because let's see. The only way I could be foiled, I think, is, the only way I can be foiled is if I end up milling one of the key cards. Which, funny enough, this is actually this was one of the matchups that I was really looking forward to. Same amount of cards, while your opponent have the same number of cards, you can negate the cards and effects activated by your opponent if you do destroy those cards. Well, I mean, if you just leave it that way... I don't know. Runic is still a really strange deck. I'm just not particularly confident about. Waking the Dragon. That wouldn't have been a great card to draw, but it would have been funny. It would have accelerated my plan. Simply giving me the card that I needed to actually just straight up negate everything anyway. Half of their effects aren't even useful because I don't even have a board yet. Are they once per turn? Yes. Okay. So you can't just infinitely play all of the runic cards. The problem is that as soon as I summon Rescue Cat, I may be forced into losing anyway. Albeit they are trying to just mill me out. Oh, it's just it's a perpetual system. Okay. This is really weird. Yeah. Fabled Runic. Card negate this effect, otherwise you can draw 2 cards and discard 1 card. No. Really? Metal Foes? What in the world? This is like some super jank. How big is, I keep forgetting. It's always a low number, isn't it? 22. Okay, yeah. So it's actually not big enough to actually win against either of these in combat. Even if I do summon it and try to, like, take care of their spells, they can just go to battle and just punch it once. I'd have to play Melffy Hide and Seek just to see what happens. And then Rescue Cat, if it gets to stay. Yeah. What was the point of any of that? This card's... Well, you and your opponent have the same number of cards in hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. And now I can use my stuff. I can and I can't, actually. I have to do this now because I have to try to do any kind of interaction. Card is sent from your opponent's hand to the graveyard. You can target one of those monsters special summon it to the field but negate its effects. Okay. If I discard a monster and if our hand's the same size. Gotcha. Okay. Problem is that I don't know what to do. All I can think of is just go for Rescue Cat. Now I have 3 cards in hand, and he has 6. I wonder if he has Ash. That would be hilarious. It'd be terrifying, but it'd be hilarious. Your draws 1 card and banish top 4 cards of their deck, or special summon it. Okay. They're trying to throw as many spell cards down, I think, so that they can... No? Okay. Not gonna go. Are you kidding me? They made me go into the right amount. Wow, that's crap. Okay. Well played. Managed to consider the math and force me to have the same number as them. That's pretty terrifying. Okay. There is a way to do this, but it's going to be weird. Also, if everyone's running Runic, it's going to be massively annoying. Well, that's really good. Not really, but it's really good. Let's go ahead and get our protection on the board. Let's see if we can't bait an Ash. Apparently not. Bunny, this, and Puppy. Right, because I have Fenny. Playing with a trackpad is really weird. You can't see the mouse, but I can. Hit my hand. It's such a strange feeling. Now we're gonna go for the other optimal setup, which I really shouldn't have gone for Puppy. Now that I'm realizing, I feel like I'm playing slower because I'm using alcohol. Okay, I'm doing this specifically because I want Naturia Beast. Funny enough, I didn't think of where everything was. I don't think I'm going to use a Link monster, or at least I'm not going to use one right now. There's always a chance, but... It's not a terrible card to draw into. Closed Force actually will increase the attack power of everything on the board. Because I already got the cards that I want. Also, it's been a minute. Since I played. There are 3 creatures in the grave, and I could draw a card, but I really don't want to be greedy, because Closed Forest is going to help me get Nature Beast at 25, and that will keep it alive in a way. The reason I'm going to end phase, I think this is a terrible idea. I'm actually not going to. The reason I'm not going to attack is because a lot of times when they set like that, it's because they're trying to prevent themselves from being attacked because they can't do anything. Or they want it to be flipped over on, or destroyed. There it is. Why do I have to be facing Gravekeepers? Are you kidding me? It's like the curse is back. Okay, I do want all of these to come back. Okay, we're gonna do the first rabbit to pop a card on the field. Because I don't actually have to worry about... During phase of this is on the field, you can choose to summon... Oh yeah, no, I definitely want to kill that thing. I know what that is. I will activate Caddy, but I will not activate Pony. I will wait on Pony. Pony is going to pop. I'm going to go for... Because I already have another cat in hand, so I'm going to go for Alpha. I cannot activate Necro Valley as long as I have it on the field. You contribute one of the face-up missions. And because of the position I'm in, I'm actually not that worried if I end up having my board kind of ripped apart. Because I have plays to get myself back on the board, including getting rid of Necro Valley the hard way if I have to. As long as I have a usable hand, I'm always in the game. Is this revenge? Is this me being able to get back at Necro Valley for like completely destroying me the one time that I had to fight them? I also love this. Joyous always goes back to turn both bunnies into Joyous, which means I'm able to do that, which is, hi, look at me, I'm a 23 beat stick that can bounce on your turn and still pop 2 cards. It's crazy. I'm more interested, I think, in Beaver? Let's go for Beaver. Search for Beaver. Make... that's a bad idea. Let's say you only have dark, so this doesn't count, or that doesn't work. A token, I guess, because we just want to defeat the person. Click it. Click the button. Now, is it a 26 being increased? Possibly. No, I don't want to lower everybody's attack power. It's a very interesting. Okay. They surrendered. Okay. I'm fine with that. I won't save it. It wasn't much of a duel. It makes perfect sense that they set that card, because yeah, it was if I had attacked into it, they could have gotten a card on their turn. I guess a little bit of information. I love Ghost Tricks. Ghost Tricks was one of the earlier. That's a really strange hand, but I kind of like it. I'm not really sure what I want to do. I really want to normal summon this. I think what I'm gonna do is see if I get ashed. If I get ashed, then obviously I can't. Yep, there it is. Then I can't do what I want to do. Oh, they updated that. Okay. Interesting. If I... Oh, I know what it is. I'm sorry. For some reason, I took it for something else. Then they still can react, which is really frustrating. Wait. Wait. Learn, you can attach material from this card and target a monster in your opponent's graveyard. Special summon to opponent's field. If a monster is special summoned from your opponent's field while you control this monster, except during its turn, you can target a monster and control special summon monster the same type attitude. Can I do this for shits and giggles? Possibly. I hate the fact that they can respond. I can pick the fire one? What do I have that's fire? There's Effect Veiler. Yep. Okay. Okay, well, then I'll just attempt to undo everything that I just did. That was frustrating. Yeah, this is a meta deck. They ran they're running all of the hand traps. Alright. I'm already out of the game. There's pretty much nothing I can do at this point. Invocation, activate invocation. Well, actually, no. Looking at the proper way to do this is to go into a link monster. And it's not the link monster I think they normally do, but oh, I know what they're doing. Yeah, no, I'm not interested in playing anymore. It's a lockout deck. They're going to force me to only be able to, what? They'll probably put their invoked negate monster. If you go, I think like you activate anything. You activate anything, cards you negate it, and the Shadow card. I think it's like special summon once or summon once. Period. Well, this is absolute crap. This is definitely a terrible hand. This is why hand traps are absolutely annoying. They're necessary, obviously, so that you don't just steamroll whatever it is they're doing. The problem is that when I'm using a deck that's not that strong, and being hand trapped, it sucks. Because I really can't do much if I'm hand trapped. It would not surprise me if this is runic. Alright, well, I have... It's not going to work, I think, but we'll see. For some reason they didn't do anything, but they're probably going to chain all the runic cards. Or breeding it for the first time. There's Ash. These are really terrible people, honestly. Like, no joke, really terrible people. I also technically don't have any playable cards. Also, can I stop drawing this card? That'd be great. Like, 100%. Can I please stop drawing this card? It's a one of. It's the most frustrating thing about playing on a simulator. You always end up drawing the cards you never want. Ever. 2 cards of Scrum Force. Yeah, sure. Okay. And here's the thing, though, that's really frustrating. I'm behind because all they're doing is playing suppression cards. That's it. But because I can't get in and try to do any real damage or anything, there's not much I can do. So I'm forced to just sit here and constantly suffer from their cards that they're playing. Because even if we have the same number of cards, all they're doing is just preventing me from playing. That's it. A completely useless card. I'm really glad you played that. I'm really, really glad you got rid of another hand trap from your hand trap deck. If you're not going to advance the field state at all and just prevent me from doing anything, then I'm just going to continue to do what I'm doing. Oh my stars. You're kidding me. I just hard made Naturia Beast? That's incredible. Okay. That's funny. Oh, hold on. I don't care if I lose it. I can't believe... I wasn't even thinking about that. I don't have enough experience to consider that. It was a tuner, and it was a 3 that's a Earth. Okay, cool. Now I know better. Yeah, you got 1 draw off of that, which is fine. But I'd rather have a Naturia Beast on the field and give him a draw than not have it. Because 100%, you know, this counters 1/3 of every deck. And if what my opponent is trying to run, Mill 3 Gunkin... A Sioux ship? Huh. Yeah, I figured as much. Pick the same sous ship every time. The only way out of this would be if this card is destroyed and I draw one of my starter cards. The bad part is that I don't have the ability to make this the ultimate form because I've already gotten rid of the card that I needed to do so. I think it was a whiff. I'm pretty sure I'm reading that as a whiff. He's still going to a rank 4 though. Yeah, they didn't start strong, and I was literally suppressed into the ground. So they started strong technically by forcing me to have a slow start. Otherwise, yeah, I would have had like the same setup as before. Naturia Beast. No, not Naturia Beast. It was it would have been Melffy of the Forest. Hopefully going for a puppy, catty, and a rabbit for the joyous XYZ. Which I will say, that's definitely my favorite already figured out combination of using cat and obedient scold. You get 2 rabbits, a catty, and then Naturia. You make joyous. Joyous turns basically into a 2-pop and a cat. That's impressive. Oh! That's for some monster opponent controls attack position. Attach it to this card's material. Really? Ugh. That's really dumb. Really? It literally is just going to eat my card and then prevent it from being destroyed by using Regeki. That's frustrating. This doesn't even feel like an actual deck. It's more like... It's almost like it is the Screw You deck. Okay, there's really no reason for me to summon this. I don't necessarily like the idea of summoning it just to block an attack. Especially, yeah, if they're just going to only attack, you know, with this card. And they cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. This card will be destroyed by card effect. I mean, I'm on a clock, but it's only... Well, there's Puppy, finally. You better believe you're going to detach a material, because that's the only way to keep it alive. What are you doing? Wow, that's really delayed. I figured it would have been in response. Wouldn't surprise me if they had the ability to respond and do more suppression. I mean, go right ahead. You're gonna have to negate it. This is pretty much the only way I get back into this game, is to get rid of your freaking attack position monster. And then make a rank 2, just so I can get back in this game. You have 4 cards in hand. I was about to say, how is there no way that you're going to be able to do anything? Hee. If it allows me to use it, I'm gonna be completely surprised. I really need one of these to stay on the field. Nope. If this card would be destroyed by a card effect, which it was, I guess it had to already be face up on the field. Oh well. I guess I'm stuck. Oh wow. Thank you. Thank you, you lousy player. You absolutely, like, abysmal human being. I'm going to be salty. It was pure... His whole deck basically was, you're not allowed to play the game, but I'm not going to do much to advance the game state. All he did was just use Sue ships to just try to get a cheap rank 4 out to steal a card. You know, and then sit there and poke, because he just kept preventing you from doing anything. However, as soon as I had a single rabbit on the field, and it was going to be my turn, immediately bails out of the game. He's like, you know what, I'm good, you can have it. It's like, really? You could take your beating to the face like a champ? Like, there is zero reason for you to bail at that point. Like, 100%, you had no right to bail. You should have literally just gone through the game, because you could have prevented me from drawn any number of cards. You had a whole deck. This is a terrible hand. Wow. Okay. Well, this is easily going to be the first thing I set. I want to put this here. And then the only other play I've got is literally just normal summon. And then rescue cat. Now the question... Oh, I'm completely uninterrupted. What do I do? Do I make Nurturia just to make sure that they can't cast any spells? Or do I go for what I'm supposed to go for, which is, oh yeah, this says, is this that card? It's left field because of an opponent's effect. Yeah. No, I can't pop it. I can pop my own Scythe, but I can't pop that. Do I counter spell cards? I guess I'm gonna counter spell cards. I'm sorry if you can hear the mouse clicking. Infinite impermanence to do... Oh, no! Oh, if that was the normal... If that was my normal summon, that would have been amazing. It's okay. It'll be alright. Okay, let's end phase. So, turn off one monster and a column for a link, which of course then they would just use the other column, but... and then a card that would love to be destroyed, because I would easily replace or give this a second monster. Oof. First time seeing Drought in my hand. It's great. There are some decks that can use Drought, but there are a lot of decks that do not special summon Earth at all. I've actually started running this only as a tech card because Mannequin Cat can get it, depending on if my opponent is actually using any Earth material, aka Maxi, which I tried doing a couple of games ago. But yeah, I was suppressed into the ground. And then, what else? If I happen to have a stable board after a turn, I can just normal summon it, and this allows me to have, like, if I have, it's not Joyous, it's Melffy of the Forest. Melffy of the Forest can point at a monster and negate its effects. I can pop. There's a lot of things I can do. Okay, so I imagine they're all trap cards. Like I said, I imagine they're all trap cards. Go ahead and just force them to be turned on. Yep. This card summoned this way is destroyed by battle, inflict damage, attack when monster destroyed it. Because they still count as trap cards. Yep. Oh, it's at 12. No! Oh, and it is Earth. That's funny. Not only is it Earth, but it is a 12. So, I couldn't actually destroy it this turn. The one time I get to summon the barrier statue, and it's a deck that probably runs main deck Earth monsters. That's funny. I was about to say though, there's a really good chance that because it's a Earth Machine monster or Earth Machine deck, it's gonna be running spell cards. Yeah, I'm sorry, but if you're trying to get rid of that because you have your own field spell, it won't matter. If you get rid of it, you still can't activate one. What? Oh, okay. Well, I should have read. My apologies. Yeah. Field spells cards cannot be activated the turn this card is... Oh, destroyed. Okay. That is definitely the way to get around it. Maybe because... Why would they move... Why would they remove this? Is it because this is a bigger monster? No, it was a normal. So one random card, and then if it was a monster card, inflict damage to your opponent equal to... Because it would have been big enough to... Yeah. Then if the card was set... Yeah, there is no way for me to get around this. They actually removed it so they contribute summon, so this card would be big enough to beat over my Nature Beast. The question is, which one do they go for? They're just gonna pump it up. I wish it said that they couldn't attack. Yeah. At this point, all I need, once again, is a starter card. No, apparently I'm just going to get Waking the Dragon again. And you can play around certain cards, but in a game like this, where it doesn't matter, like, no part of this duel matters. It's beat your opponent to death, or don't. If you want to wait and eventually cast something that would help get rid of back row, then you can. And more often than not, they're just going to attack. It won't matter. I would say 9 times out of 10, anyone's going to attack because it's not a 2 out of 3. You just want to win the one game. That's it. So we'll see if this person does that. Starting to lose my voice. Because I'm talking a lot. Then target one of your normal traps that is banished from the graveyard. Set the target. Sure. I'll force it to trigger now. I'm pretty sure Scrum Force will not activate Waking. Would love it. I'm guessing they're not really running. Aww. Every time I draw this, I just get a little sad on the inside. They could have gotten greedy and decided to swing with the 1000, but considering that he'd be dead sooner than later. I know I could be shelling up, putting the card out, making sure I'm taking less damage a turn, but the cards in my hand are a resource. I really need to make sure that I... $48? It's still not lethal. Is it just a weird Monarch deck? I'm gonna lose because my opponent straight up does not run field removal. Oh my stars! Are you kidding me? I am drawing every terrible card in my entire deck. Back to back. Zero, like... Okay. I'm 100% super sick and tired of seeing that card. I have seen that card more than I think I should ever have to see that card. It's insane. Like, it's a good card, don't get me wrong. Especially when I've gotten a board set up that I've done multiple times with this deck. As soon as I've got a decent board set up, you know, even if this is literally a terrible hand. I have 9 starter cards in my deck. It is insane that I just never ever get, it's like, I guess I can't complain too much. I have won a couple of games, which that's not the point. The point is like, they're not all bad cards, but Fenny is. I hate having fun. they gonna play? Fenny is required, but it's a one of, so it always feels terrible drawing it. ZW. Oh, this should be interesting. Barrier Statue is a fun tech card, but it is also a one of. Solemn Judgment is a one of. So I've drawn 3 one-ofs in my opening hand. Unless my draw card helps fix this, I'm not going to be able to do much. Also, what just happened? Yep, that doesn't help me at all. Like, at all. You can target one Utopia monster you control, equip this card to it, and use 1,000 while this card is equipped to a monster. Okay, so its effect doesn't matter. Too bad I don't have a 2-star tuner in my hand. I could always... You know, I could actually do that. I don't want to bounce this card to the hand, but I probably should. But I don't want to, if that makes sense. Because it's not optimal. I could just run it over. Let's go to battle phase. Let's see if he can. Nope. You're going to take 3 grand. I'm going to go to main phase 2. I'm going to set Forbidden Chalice and summon Barrier Statue. And I'm going to activate Melffy Hide and Seek. So if this would be destroyed by card effect, it won't once. This is a rock, of course, so it doesn't count. Fenny. Fenny cannot summon anything. And even if it bounces, there's no reason to have it on the board that I'm aware of. Oh, I didn't set my... it's fine. Solemn would have been, obviously, the play. Because even cutting my life points in half, I would have prevented something for them to get around my board. It just takes any form of removal to get rid of the Barrier Statue. But I don't think the Utopia cards and stuff actually play anything around Earth. I could be completely wrong. I'm just not that versed in Yu-Gi-Oh cards, specifically attributes. I think the other big thing is that they could just run it over. That's all it really takes. I can negate an effect, right? All I have to do is just summon something big enough to run it over. If the only monster you control is 1 level 4, you special summon this card. Okay, so it's not special summoning this card. The monster that was summoned using this card in the field gains the effect. This card is explicitly summoned. What are you doing with this card? Yeah, I was gonna say if I threw the game, it's because I didn't set Solemn because I was in too much of a rush after the main phase. Evenly matched, even though you shouldn't have summoned this card. Where are you in the battle phase? Main phase 2, end phase. I'm so confused. Rescue Cat. Yay! A way to actually get something started. Even though, yeah, obviously they have some way of reacting. I guess the play would always be Naturia Beast. I know I probably should be going for Puppy. Oh. I literally don't know why I did that. I wasn't actually paying attention to, yeah. the only way to fix this screw up is to put it in my hand. This allows me to actually use Melffy Fanny's ability. Wow, I just completely butchered this entire turn. Okay, pay attention. Solemn Judgment. There's nothing I would want to summon. End phase. Actually use Fenny. Because technically, if I put Fenny on the board and it lives, I could have always lost it. What? Are you kidding me? That's crazy. That's funny. I have never seen that interaction. Mind Mole was going to be destroyed because of Cat. But this literally says if it would be destroyed, it's not. Once per turn. That's crazy. You can actually keep stuff on the board even through Catty because of this. I've never seen that interaction before. That's crazy. Sorry, I'm just very excited to see something like that. That was super cool. Now we're fine. We're unfortunately okay at this moment. I have set Solemn Judgment, and I do have Fenny, which is... no, not really. I actually don't want to do anything. I'd rather wait to see if they actually are able to, I think what's going on is they don't realize that Barrier Statue is working against them, because they have cards that can be special summoned if they have, ZS's, ZW's, you know, things like that. That or it's a computer, and instead of forfeiting, you can banish this card from the field and target one of those banished monsters special summon the target, and if you do, banish a monster your opponent controls. If a monster you control is banished during the battle step, well, it's not. It's just dead. I am very confused. I feel like this is an AI that thinks it has a chance of winning, but it hasn't forfeited because it can't figure out Barrier Statue. Let me... Okay, I have to read Caddy. Obedience School, not helpful. Also, are destroyed during the end phase. If I keep this on the field, every end phase it keeps trying to destroy it. That is English. I do understand how English works. And I'm not saying that like to hate on anybody for saying anything. But when you don't play Yu-Gi-Oh! A lot, every single time you find a new interaction, it's always interesting. So yeah, the fact that Caddy's effect is consistently trying to kill Mind Mole because of this card is great. It's hilarious to me. I don't really see... I don't need to do anything. I just need to punch you. I'm 100% sure that me normal summoning Barrier Statue is the reason I'm... Because that whole game is working a bit, but because of how the ZWs, because of how they work, all of them most likely were not Earth monsters, so... Okay. I also see that the flag flexes whenever you, Oh no. This is terrible. Instead of just getting them, now you're forced to watch every single one of these check off. Wow, they made it to where clicking the Claim All Rewards button is slow. That was a terrible experience. Yeah, gain life, deal over 8,000 damage in a single swing, take control of opponent's monsters. Obviously, getting to 40 is going to be ridiculously hard. Most of them that I've either completed one step of or unlocked, I'm probably never going to actually do. Simply because it would be a terrible pain to actually focus on it. It was fun when it came up when I was playing the decks that caused it to happen, but I would not want to pursue it personally. Alright, 1 second. I'll be right back. Wait, why isn't this button working? Oh. Never mind. Alright. I am back. I fumbled on that last match, but it's alright. I can live with it. I ended up winning, oddly enough. So now we have a very important question to ask ourselves. Oh, they're holding priority. So what is it that they have? 35. 5 cards? What in the world are you running that says that you would want only 5 cards in your extra deck? Even all of my cards at least actually have a function, even if I don't necessarily want to use them all. First time I've seen an Ash in my hand, which is funny. So do I normal summon or do I go barrier statue pass? Any normal summon would be able to beat out the barrier statue. So obviously the best call is not to. This isn't bad because this sets me up with cannot destroy by battle, makes a token, that's the copies the attack, the highest attack. Turn off a face-up card? Yeah. Special summon. If you wanted to, during mid-phase you can touch on 1 level 4 or lower monster. And then can bring out the beast line, but I don't want to do that. I want to Melffy of the Forest. Put it in the left corner. Activate effect. I have Caddy, which is great. Having one of the 2 cards is amazing. So I need Puppy. Let's see. We'll go ahead and activate Hide and Seek. Mainly because it's destruction protection. And we may need it. Go Puppy. Caddy, last turn. Puppy is a pop, Caddy is a search, which I'll probably be getting Rescue Cat, just so I have an extended play. Melffy the Forest is, of course, a gate. It's a slow negate. If they had Lightning Storm, they'd have to target fields. Otherwise, they would waste it on trying to target the monsters, unless they had a follow-up Raigeki, or hand or face up on the field of the graveyard. Or someone Vendred monster from your deck. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can add. Oh yeah. Let's definitely turn off one of them. We can't turn off that card. But Scar of the Vendreds is probably going to trigger. Yep. I'll prevent them from getting... I probably should have prevented that from happening. If they activate this card... Okay, so... That's the one I would have wanted to Ash. Okay. Wait. that do what I think it did? No, it said Revenge Red Slayer on it. Okay. This card in possession is destroyed by opponent's card. By battle card effect inside to the graveyard, special summon this card vanish on the field. A vendor using this card on the field gains the effect of one turn. You can target one special summon monster your opponent controls. Banish it. Man, I'm in a really bad spot. Okay. I might as well just pull everything out so that I can try to set up for next turn. Yeah, I know. But I did it so I can get my cards back. Okay, so this is going to be terrible because quick effect, this is actually going to be really terrible. Once per turn, they can, by quick effect, banish anything I control. A special summon monster and a spell card. Yeah, this is actually really terrible because quick effect every turn. I guess I jumped the gun way too fast, and I should have waited for this. Yeah. Because he's just going to pick my board apart. That card, if I had waited for him to successfully create his boss monster, then I could have destroyed it. I think I would have successfully destroyed it no matter what. It would have been, you could only get rid of one of two things, which means that you could have only gotten rid of the thing negating it or the thing destroying it, even though the thing destroying it would have triggered no matter what. If I bring out Alpha, and it uses the quick effect to get rid of it, then there's nothing that he can do to prevent Puppy and Caddy from triggering. The problem is that on his turn, he would just use its effect, you know, to instantly bounce the Puppy. Alright, well, that's a start. Sure, quick effect, banish it. I dare you. I promise you, I'm gonna get rid of something somehow. Special summon any number of banished Syndrome monsters. For all those. Oh, he's literally gonna give himself 2 instances of quick effect banishing. Wow, he's making my job hard. This is insane. This is a very efficient Vendread beatdown. Hello. Of a ranked duel using Melffy versus their Vendread, unfortunately. You can banish 1 vegetable card from your graveyard, declare 1 type for the rest of the turn. Your opponent cannot activate cards or effects of that type. What? Is ritual summon monster sent to graveyard, you can add 1 ritual spell, and if you do... Wow, that's crazy. Okay. Do I have Forest? No, I still don't have Forest. Okay. What do I need? I have Catty and Puppy. Alright, so Catty, Puppy, Beaver. Man, I know, because ritual summoning is still... Actually, ritual summoning is still special summoning, isn't it? Okay, there's 1 wasted. Come on, waste the other one. Waste the other one. Waste the other one and I got it. Okay, he's getting rid of Puppy. That literally doesn't matter. I have my own Puppy. Come on, waste the other one. Waste it. Yes! Okay, we're good. We got it. He's wasting it to try to undo my board, even though the Obedient skill is literally it's a gank. This card says you got 1 spellcraft from it. This card is distributed while this card is in your graveyard. Yeah. Normally face a monster opponent controls that has a level tribute, and if you do special summon 1 token. Yep. Alright. The only way I can stay in this game is if I keep pushing. I gotta search for, depending on what I get, if I use Caddy, there's a good chance that I'll need to... He'll have to set the trap, yes, which means that the card is still fine. Barrier is still fine. He can't activate the trap card this turn, so Barrier will still possibly do its job, which is telling all of the Vendreads to go away. then if they normal summon any monster, Caddy and Puppy will still get what they need to do, which is, I think, another pop. Yep, I know what that card is. It's a pop and a rescue cat. Yep. Like I said, I know what the card is. The real question is what do I do? Target when face up monster your opponent controls, tribute it, and if you do, create a token with a level equal to tribute. While the token special summoned by the effect on the field, you cannot normal special summon monsters except Vendreads. Okay. So he's waiting to get rid of something, right? But it's levels, it's not power. He's probably going to tribute this card. Joyous. Yeah, Mom. Yeah, Melffy of the Forest is gone. If I make this, I could go into it. This card special summoned, or if another beast where is special summoned, you can banish one card in field. Yeah, but I'd be wiping all of my beast cards. I don't think that's a good idea. I don't think making it is a good idea either. Let's see. Bring out another caddy. Yeah, sure. Yeah, supposedly this is smart. I don't know why they're not using the trap card to tribute that barrier statue. Just so that they're not... If they skip... Yep. They should have just... Oh! Maybe they can't activate it because they can't tribute even the token on the field because it's not Earth. Oh, barrier statue won me the game! Yes! I hate saying that because that's basically what any Blue Wanderers player would say. They'd be like, yay! Barrier statue won me the game. It's like... Now I know how they feel, but at the same time, like, they do it for a specific reason. However, I have a much slower path to it. Like, I actually cannot get to Barrier Statue except by hard drawing it and having one specific play that requires my opponent to have an Earth monster. It's very slow. But I'm not going to... I'm not going to complain too much. Oh, I know what I was going to do. Bone specs. Nothing. I do actually like this card, and it's It's a polar. It's a companion card. It's really funny. But if I remember correctly, there is such thing as instant fusion, which allows you to pull out a level 5 or lower fusion monster that would be destroyed at the end phase, but it's still allowed to use its effects and everything else. Here's the thing. I know that there's like some technical way to cheat out XYZ monsters and synchro monsters, but it's super rare and not as generic as instant fusion. And like, I don't imagine you'll ever see a instant fusion version of XYZ in synchro, or even Link, because I don't think there's a way to cheat out Links at all. So I've got to 3,000. I'm content, but games have been going okay, so I'm probably just a little bit longer. And then I'll probably hop off because I gotta work. Straight is perfect. It's not perfect, but it is perfect. I would say this would need to be a puppy instead, and I definitely want this card to be set and prematurely destroyed somehow. No interruption at all. Okay. Well, that was a search. It will get Mind Mole, so I need to get this, and is it Puppy? Because then the other one will get Mind Mole and the other rabbit to create a 2-pop rabbit. Yeah, let's do this. So there was no Ash, but while this is on the field, apparently there's something they can do. Okay. Well, this prevents me from getting what I need, which is Mind Mole. Let's see. I actually can't do what I wanted to do, but it's fine. Hold on. What was that again? No, it's, yeah, trap card. Okay. I'm wondering. I don't think I can. You don't use the effect of Rescue Rabbit once per turn. I think if you activate its effect, then it would fail. Let's see. If you activate its effect, it would fail, but if you brought it back, you wouldn't be able to activate it because technically you did activate it. So, all I can do is hope that it gets removed somehow, which I should have just removed it myself, now that I'm thinking about it. Red Eyes? I have a pop effect I don't want to trigger yet. Okay. I'll be really curious to see what they summon. It would have, actually, if I chained it, it would have resolved the same time that it would have resolved, meaning I would have been able to shoot, or pop the sun monster. Send a winterized monster from your hand or deck to the graveyard. If you do play damage your opponent equals to its attack, this card sent from monsters on the graveyard. You can target one normal monster in your graveyard, special summon it. I guess I should try to have a certain commitment. It doesn't have a normal monster in the grave yet. Yeah, it does. Okay. They have one red eyes in the grave. Why did I activate it? If this card is sent from the monster zone to the graveyard, you can target one normal monster in your graveyard, special summon it. And they didn't get rid of Rescue Cat, so I can't actually... No, I could use it. My bad. It's not permanently negated. I have Doe already, which means I have to get Puppy and Mind Mole. Or if not Puppy, but the, no, well, because it's effective trigger. This is weird. A weird position to be in. I think I need to remember to put the synchro materials in one of the corners, like every time. I can bring back this. I really don't want to use Caddy. Believe me when I say that I'm just clicking buttons. Do I want to go for game? I don't think it would be game, but it would be good enough. I just don't think that would be a smart idea. What is in your grave? All darks? One wind? Okay. Big body, Melffy. I already have Caddy and Puppy. Nobody tried to battle, and can get rid of one of their cards later on. This? I have a live pop that can turn into a Caddy search if they continue to play. I have one-third of their deck negated with a Cherry Beast. I usually never run out of cards. I'm only at 33. Zeus basically says you're not allowed to put anything on the board without my say-so, even though I remove everything else. What are you targeting? I'm the most confused about that part. Why activate that card? Sure. I should just let you, I should just let you banish it, but at the same time, that might end up being a bad idea. Oh, or is this the whole, like, you think it's once per turn? Yeah, it's red eyes. It's very spell heavy. Chain Joyous. Joyous actually doesn't have to bring back the material under it. It brings back anything that fits the criteria in the grave. Meaning, that was Chain Link 2, which means the stone still resolves before I get an option to use the bunny's ability. Okay. Vanilla. What do I have face down? Waking the Dragon, Scum Force. No, it's fine. Just go ahead and get rid of the red eyes. And definitely use Cat, because it was brought out and it's reacting to its special summon. Okay. There we go. Yeah. I only ever feel bad streaming because I never really want to play for a long time. I don't mind playing the game. I don't mind having fun. I will say that, you know, the last time that I streamed, someone ended up joining and talking, and that ended up carrying the stream longer than I would have thought that I had done it for. But, I mean, that was also simply because there was someone interacting with me. You know, I wasn't alone, and then it even changed because they wanted to fight me, in which case, you know, we did. But yeah, I never feel that compelled to play for a long time just because, like, the dailies for the most part are over. You know, I've kind of gotten the enjoyment that I want out of the stream, you know, out of what I'm doing, so it feels bad, but yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and call it here. I got $3 grand. I'm looking forward to tomorrow. I will be streaming tomorrow, and tomorrow might be different because the earlier I do it, the better. Also, let me look at the maintenance thing. It says till 2:30. Okay, so plenty of time tomorrow morning to play if I'm up early enough. So that'll be exciting. Basically find out what the pack is, roll it, you know, 3 times, and see what we get. And then, yeah, just kind of work it out, see if I can make the... It's not the perfect deck, there's 2 versions of it. There's the OTK, or not OTK, because it's not burn damage. It's the FTK Joyous beatdown. Which, of course, you know, if your opponent interrupts any part of that, then obviously it doesn't happen. But it's more of an educated guess. Summon 5 monsters, make 2 Joyous and 1 Melffy, one of any Melffy, obviously something of the highest attack power. And then 1 spell card from Sprite that just gives everything 1400 attack. You can just attack directly 3 times and your opponent is defeated. It's really funny. Or you can have like blue starter, and then the one card, I don't know if it's Jet, but it's the one that, like, when it's special summoned, you create, or you can search for a sprite, spell, or trap card, which would be the attack one, most likely. I hope the surprise cards in it happens to be the Melffy support, because as far as pack filler, I think it'd be funny, but obviously I'd be super ecstatic. I would love to create the synchro version of my Melffy deck, where it's more synchro heavy. But more than anything, I want Wallaby. I just want Wallaby. Wallaby is such a great card because it makes it to where at that point I have like 15 starter cards ish. I would actually reduce the amount of cards I have. Like, I think Caddy would either go from 3 to 2, and I think maybe it'd stay at 2 copies. A Puppy would go down to 2 copies, and then I'd put possibly 2 copies, but most likely 3 copies of Wallaby in the deck. Caddy's at 2. Okay. Oh, Puppy's at 2? Oh, that's half the issue there. It's like I'm not seeing it because it's just not there. This deck really is bloated. I know why I run 2 copies, but it does actually hurt the deck to run 2 copies. That's a lot of monsters. Oh, part of it's because I'm running 2 Ashes in my deck. I'm running Solemn, Infinite, Ashes, which there's no reason to not run the Ashes. But yeah, if you notice, it's a 46 card deck. It's very bloated. I do wonder what the most efficient way to run this deck is, but without being able to know much about it, I don't know. I know Waking the Dragon hasn't paid off at all. Barrier Statue has paid off greatly. It's actually helped out a lot, which, yeah, a lot of times people don't have, removal in their hand to get rid of a Barrier Statue. I was like, I don't have... this is what I would use for the Synchro deck because it's very grave heavy. It puts a lot of stuff in the grave. If I had to do anything, like Evenly Matched would be a pretty good card to put in the deck. Over, I don't know, maybe the Ashes. Instead of preventing searching, just maybe do like Lost Wind, where you're just trying to prevent your opponent's effects from activating. Same thing with Phantom Knight, Fog Blade. The kaijus are necessary, even though I will admit the kaijus aren't necessary, because only if I draw them. Because what I originally had was Slumber, and I ran 3 kaijus. But, again, I have to draw all of that stuff. It is simpler if the deck is trimmed down to 40 and just runs the bare necessities. But that's been difficult to figure out. I like Forbidden Chalice because I don't have to discard, and I can just turn off a monster's effect. Forbidden Chalice is good because it can be done in your hand. But the bad part is like Scrum Force actually hasn't been that useful either, considering everything bounces and stuff like that. It would only be useful if I had it when I was able to make a proper Melffy card. Melffy of the Forest. If I make Melffy of the Forest and put Puppy on the field, I can activate Scrum Force, and that prevents my opponent from being able to target and destroy with card effects. And it's a way to keep them on the field, but it's kind of like, if I remove those cards, I'm more likely to draw other cards that I actually need, not, you know, going third card. So I'm actually going to remove those. Some of these at 2 need to be changed to 3 copies. I run Beaver because if I happen to have, if I draw both copies into my hand, then Nimble Beaver's turned off. But I do, there's so many reasons, I think, to keep 2, or sorry, to keep 3 versus keeping 2. It just hurts. Same thing with this. Like, I hate drawing into it, because if I draw into it, then Rescue Cat has nothing to go for properly. But it's a card I can lose. Because, like, I would probably run 3 bunnies and 1 doe. Just because the bunny is more accessible, a lot more useful in the long run. The kaijus at 8 are good. It's like, okay, so if I had to slim down the deck, which it would have to be monsters, I would get rid of the kaijus, because kaijus are great, but so is Alpha. Alpha's very good. It acts kind of like a kaiju. This card is to cheat out this card. But if I just remove it, the only way, which, I mean, I know I used it with the doe and I was able to make this anyway. That was an extreme circumstance. It could have just been any other card at the time. But if it's in my hand and I've used like Rescue Cat and I have Nature Beast survives the turn, I can always just place this card and then fusion summon this card. Then I'm able to simply negate both, you know, spells and traps. So it's like an evolution stone for a card that's already on the field. So I don't really want to get rid of it. It's circumstantial, but it does technically help me go into this. I love this card, it's great. A 3rd copy would actually be nice, but that's a commitment I'd have to make mentally. Because more consistent Graveyard Revival is good, especially if it's like, oh, you know, if you're going to reuse Caddy multiple times, then it's a good option. It's in and of itself, it's an extender when your extenders are already kind of used up. Problem is, the only extension you can go for is Caddy, because everything else is just a regular body on the board. But that may be all you need. Lightning Storm's okay, Raigeki's okay, you know, this is okay. I still might lower this back down to 2, but I would rather see it more often, or draw it more often, because it is still a good card. If your opponent does a heavy amount of play, I mean, you could do Puppy and then decide to go into Caddy and then decide to put into your hand like Alpha or Rescue Cat. That way, next turn you can place Puppy and Caddy and then start using both of their effects together. I love Scrap Iron Scarecrow, but obviously it's kind of slow, and that's why I run this, because if they just run removal, then it would be better for them to destroy this card. Also, I feel bad. Don't I have 3? No, I only have 2. Good. I consciously made only 2 of them. Okay. Uh, this is a good, quote unquote, this is a good card. Although, a big part of me actually disagrees with even that statement. Because, you know, all face-up monsters change to defense position, which in of itself actually works really well with Scrumlord. Simply because as long as this card's on the field, Scrumlord is pretty much mandatorily active, meaning everything that you own is untargetable. Well, all of your monsters in the main zone are untargetable and cannot be destroyed by spell effects, and then Tryheart is unaffected by monster effects in defense position. So obviously if they play Regeki, he is still destroyed. But all of your defense position monsters would be fine. If I ran Scrumlord, it wouldn't help with Melffy Hide and Seek, because Hide and Seek is a draw card and it protects all beast monsters. And I would still prefer it, and it's searchable. Closed Force is good because it prevents your opponent from playing field spells, which has been useful in the past. It powers up all your beast type monsters, which has been useful in the past. So, bare necessities being a thing, we're at 42. It's basically at the consistency level that it's going to be at. That's even still actually leaving in the ashes. If I remove the ashes, the deck would be even more consistent, but I wouldn't have interruption cards. Which, yeah, at the end of the day, it's just difficult. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, I don't know. I like the kaijus. I think the kaijus are really hilarious. I would even run just one. But I know why I ran two. I ran two because I ran two because what are they called? Oh, Mech Knight. Okay, so there's no dash. Yeah. If two or more cards are in the same column, you can special summon this card. You can only use it once per turn. You can mark control, move the target to another zone. The only reason I'm actually thinking of this card is because if I go second and I have like this and then Doe in hand, I literally could make Baron to floor. Like, instead of a kaiju, even though kaiju removal is actually more efficient, if I'm able to set a card without it being a like a penalty to my plays, Mech Knight and then Doe. But again, I think that's a rare situation. I have run kaijus for a long time, and kaijus actually did function like I needed them to. A lot of times I'd have it in hand and I would just tribute a monster, put it on the field. So it's been efficient. Problem is that it's a best of one game. There is no, I don't think there's a permanent answer to anything. And on top of that, on top of there being no permanent answer to anything, you're stuck with what's the most efficient version of the deck you can run every time, rather than what's a version of the deck that you can run to maybe counter the current meta. Because I only fought one Runic player. One. one that I can count. And as much as, like, Naturia Beast is the counter to any deck that's spell reliant, you know, there's also decks out there that are trap reliant. There are decks out there that easily can do very long combos with monster effects only. So it's very much a matter of how can you make your deck as efficient as possible. Because, like, my deck is not set up a board, you know, that has like 3 or 4 negates, you know, or 3 or 4 interactions per se. Depends on my draw. I don't have a starter card like Sprite Blue. I have Rescue Cat and Obedient Schooled. One can get me Naturia Beast, or if I decide that it's a better idea, I can go into Melffy of the Forest, go get Puppy. What Puppy does is allows me to have either a search for cat or a pop, which is an interaction. Melffy of the Forest points at something and negates its effects, which is effectively another form of interaction. If I have Obedient Schooled, then I can always just get like 2, or I can get a rabbit, which is a pop, off of the Joyous bounce, and then possibly just put Puppy and Catty on the field for 2 forms of interaction, but not interruption. Well, I could use Puppy again, yeah. It's very much a... because, like, what is it? Any deck that plays usually has a way to interrupt your opponent. You know, it's on their turn. So I'm basically doing the same thing, where it's like, on my turn, I set up my board to interrupt you during your turn. If I go second, I don't really have much in the form of interacting with your board on my turn, when a lot of other decks usually do. That's why I have, you know, Lightning Storm, Raigeki, which, honestly, I would be fine getting rid of, you know, Lightning Storm to have a second Raigeki, just because it would make the Raigeki more consistent, even though it's kind of like having the 2 Ashes and the 1 Spooky Mansion. It's 3 copies of some sort of interruption. So that's what Lightning Storm is, even though I haven't drawn it at all. Would I run 3 copies of it? I don't know. I think it would be a great idea. I think running 3 copies of Lightning Storm would be amazing, possibly because whether I go first or second, it's a good card to have, because what I'm trying to do is always have my Melffy cards in my hand after they've resolved their effects during my opponent's turn. Which means, if I at least get my starting cards back in my hand, and it goes back to my turn and my board is wiped, the whole point is that I'm able to, let's say, play Raigeki, play Lightning Storm, because my field is gone. You know, end phase, put Catty and Puppy back on the board, or even, you know, Catty, Puppy, Pony, and Fenny, and then just have them all bounce next time, put 4 cards back in my hand, and then, what is it, grab a card from the grave, throw a card onto the field twice, you know, put a card into my hand. It's a resource engine that's just constantly having certain cards bounce back to the hand and then affect the board in some way. Pony can always get a rabbit back. Fenny can put a rabbit back onto the field, so it's a kind of a loop pop. Joyous, you know, could always end up just being 2 bunnies, so it's always 2 pops a turn because it's not once per turn. It's a series of interactions, yes, but there's always a way to draw a dud hand, and a dud hand is always a bad feeling, which is why I would love Wallaby. Problem is that with the deck being the way it is, it would just go to 45 possibly, because I would throw 3 copies of Wallaby in there. But it would be so monster heavy that, like, the spells that I have, what am I doing with, right? Open, you know, Solemn Judgment or Infinite Permanence, those are good. Chalice is okay. This is a protection card, you know, this prevents, this resurrects, you know. They're useful cards, but I guess in one way, you know, they're good interaction cards, But it is still a matter of getting the monster cards, right? I'm not too sure how I would thin the deck anymore. I think this needs to go, and even this needs to go, because I was always running 2 copies anyway. I ran 2 copies of Nimble Beaver, and I think it worked just fine. But it felt bad, like, if I ended up drawing both cards into my hand. If I drew, this card, then Caddy was turned off, or I just had to go for a completely different play, and, like, that's the only thing I can think of. It's like, if I get Wallaby, like, this has to go to 1, this has to go to 2. Just so that the deck would be, like, 41 cards, or even just 42. What was, like, get rid of this, goes to 41. Then I go to 44. If I get rid of these 2, it goes to 40, then it'd go to 43. A 44 card deck would be fine. But it's still a lot of cards, so. Oh yeah, Puppy would go down 1, you're right. Yeah, so it'd be like 43. 21 out of 25. I can buy more deck boxes, but it's fine. There's a couple I could probably get rid of. Anyway, I think I ranted long enough. It's food for thought, because I'm trying to figure out how to be more efficient, even though for how I'm playing, I think that deck is alright. I didn't even use the new strategy, the new fun strategy, which is Scarfy, which I will definitely be using that tomorrow, maybe a little bit, but it'll be a lot of rolling and crafting a sprite deck. But for sure, the sprite deck is going to have to be a lot of the other main deck cards removed and have the sprites put in. Because it'll have to just be a pure, like, rank 2 deck. Hopefully, we roll 1 Gigantic, 1 Elf. Blue is probably going to be an ultra rare, so it's going to be annoying. There's going to be a lot of ultra rares. I could probably already tell you that. There's going to be a lot of ultra rares, and there's going to be a lot of questions of whether or not I'm actually going to want to have all the cards. Of course, if you do the dailies and stuff, if I actually played more often, I probably could eventually afford everything. But yeah, thank you for watching. And yeah, unfortunately, the long last part of that was just a lot of ranting, but you have a good day, and I definitely will be back tomorrow.